Today I'd like to talk about the Denarii of the Emperor Nerva. Nerva was the first emperor after the end of the Flavian dynasty, which ended when the Emperor Domitian was assassinated just before the beginning of Nerva's reign. And Nerva was the first emperor of the Nervo-Antonine dynasty, or the adoptive emperors. Nerva himself had no children, so he adopted the Emperor Trajan early in his reign, who succeeded him at his death. Nerva issued coinage in gold, silver, and the base metals. Today we're going to be talking about the most common silver issue of the emperor, which is the denarius. All denarii of the emperor Nerva have very similar bust types. He's always depicted like this with no drapery and with a laurel crown. On later and previous emperors, you'll see a greater variation in bust type as they age or as they wear different clothes. Nerva always looks like this in coins issued during his own reign. Here is the sequence of legends on Denarii of Nerva. So you can see that from October 1st of 96, you have TRP Cos twice. So he's tribune of the plebs and consul for the second time, or tribune of the plebs, consul for the second time, consul designatus for the third time. From January to September, you can see that it's with no designatus, so it's just consul for the third time. Uh, October, you can see that he's become tribune of the plebs again. On October 27th, Nerva adopted the Emperor Trajan, and they both assumed the title Germanicus. So if you see Germanicus on a coin of Nerva, you know it was after this adoption. And then there's another one added to the consul again, so he's consul for the fourth time on January 1st, and then Nerva died on January 29th. Trajan became the next emperor. So Nerva issued several or three different types of silver issues. Today we're only talking about the denarii, but I've put up examples here of the other kinds so that you can distinguish them from the denarii. So this is a tetradrachm. Nerva issued these both in Greek and in Latin legends. The ones in Greek were for circulation in the Eastern Empire. The ones of Antioch are most attainable if you're collecting them. So here's an example. You can distinguish it easily from the denarius because it's about 3 times the weight. Nerva also issued a quinarii, which are half denarii. These are about half the weight of a denarius, and they always have Victoria, the goddess of victory, on their reverse. So once again, also very easily distinguished. Both the tetradrachms, or sometimes they're called tetradrams, and the quinarii of Nerva are rarer than the denarii, but the quinarii do not have much of a premium above them. They can be bought relatively easily. The larger issues are more expensive, though. About 150 years after Nerva's death, another emperor, Trajan Decius, put his portrait on coins again in restitution issues in the Divi series. So in that series, Trajan Decius, this is not the same Trajan that succeeded Nerva. This is a later emperor. He would put the portraits of prominent emperors of the past on a coin, marking their divinate or their consecration as gods. So these are distinguished from denarii by being slightly larger. They're about 1.5 times the size of a denarius, and also by the solar or radiate crown that you can see Nerva wearing. You'll see Nerva wearing this crown on some base metal issues, but it's never worn on the silver that was issued during his own reign. So here we have the first of the reverses. I'm going to go through 8 common and a variety of rarer reverses of Nerva here. So this here is the Equitas reverse. This was issued in all 3 calendar years of Nerva's reign, so it's fairly common, and it's meant to commemorate the stability of his reign. Of his Equitas means levelness in Latin. Next, we have the Concordia Exercitium. reverse. This was issued once again in all 3 years. And so you can see there's a handshake on it. Concordia exercitium means the concordance or agreement of the army. So this is the armies getting along well and not having a revolt. You can also see this same reverse, but with a Roman standard behind the arm or behind the hands that are shaking. Uh, this was also issued in all 3 years, and it's just a variant of the previous one. But it's a nice image of a Roman standard if you like Roman military images. Up next, we have Fortuna Augusti. So this one has the goddess Fortuna on it. She's holding a ship's rudder and a cornucopia. So Fortuna is fortune or fate, and so it's expressing the idea that Nerva has been blessed by the gods. Here we have the next issue. This is Justitia, the goddess of justice. And it's pretty obvious Nerva is claiming that his reign is just. So you can see she's sitting here with the staff and with a laurel branch. So this here is the Libertas Publica coin of Nerva. So you can see here that it's commemorating the public liberty. And here is the goddess, the personification of that, holding a staff and a cap of liberty. So that's the same coin that you'll see at the Eidmar denarius commemorating the assassination of Caesar. So this is an interesting coin. There is also a rare variant of this coin issued in that last January of Nerva's reign, where you have the same image but a different legend on it, with one of those later um, legends that I showed you earlier. So this is a much rarer coin, but it has the same person on the reverse, so it's not really that interesting. And here we have the Salus Publica coin, or public health. And here is the personification of that goddess sitting in a throne. There's a little bit of debate about what she's holding. Uh, the Roman imperial coinage believes it to be a laurel branch, but Salus is usually depicted with snakes. So Henri Cohen, in his works, claimed that she was holding snakes. I'm not entirely sure, but there is a dispute about what exactly she's holding in this coin. And here we have the priestly implements reverse. So this one shows a variety of religious objects, you can see there's a ewer and one of those wands that the augurs would use. So this would be part of Nerva's religious duties. This is a uh, fairly common coin, and it was issued in all 3 years. So here we get to the first rare coin of Nerva. So this example was not actually sold. This was from the collection of the American Numismatic Society. So this is the coin with Diana on it. So this was issued only in the year 96, and it's rare and very hard to find. So you can see that there's Diana with her bow, the goddess of the hunt, and you can see a little hunting dog behind her. There are other rare coins that I can't even find pictures of. They're so rare. So one is the Monetas Augusti coin depicting the goddess of money. She's holding a balance and a cornucopia in this. So I put this coin here of Hadrian, which would have a very similar reverse. So here's the goddess. So this reverse on a Nerva is a very rare coin. And in addition to that reverse, you can see that there are two other rare Nerva reverses, which I can't find pictures of. One depicts Nerva clasping hands with a soldier, and the other one has a woman standing left with that should say corn ears and a spear. Neither of those have pictures available on the internet, but they're both listed in the Roman imperial coinage. Nerva also issued one silver coin that was of someone other than himself, and it was of the Emperor Augustus. So this is also a very, very rare coin, once again taken from the American Numismatic Society website. And so it had pictures of the divine Augustus, Divus Augustus, on one side, and then Capricorn, the astrological sign, on the other side. These coins also exist in bronze, where they're much more common than the silver issues. And what's kind of fun is you can kind of see that the bust on this coin looks quite a lot like Nerva. It looks a lot more like Nerva than it does like Augustus, which is a neat detail that the die carvers must have picked up on. And so that's everything. Those are the denarii of the Emperor Nerva. You can see that there's 8 common reverses and a few more rare ones. I hope you enjoyed this video.